Here's the problem. Most partners don't see coming. You can win every deal in front of you and still stall out at gold because winning deals and building a business are two different skills. One is tactical and the other is strategic. Now, most partners chase deals, but high performers chase designations. And here's why that distinction matters. A deal is finite. You win it, get paid, then start over with a clean slate. Designations are different. They're an engine that keeps paying. Every customer you onboard, every certification your team earns, every usage metric you move feeds a scorecard that compounds. That scorecard unlocks incentives, co-sell, and funding programs most partners don't even know exist. Here's the real gap between a partner stuck at 50 points and one hitting 70. It isn't sales skill, it's understanding how the program rewards you for the work you're already doing. You're probably doing the work, but you just haven't connected it to the system. By the end of this, you'll see the full picture from CPOR claims to MACC to ECIF funding, and you'll know exactly which lever to pull first. But let's start with the thing most partners get wrong. The mindset shift. Deals versus systems. So here's the mindset shift most partners miss. Most partners think growth means closing more deals, but it doesn't. Growth means building a pipeline that runs on its own. A deal-based mindset is simple. You win, get paid, start over, and every time the meter resets. A systems mindset is different. Every customer you onboard feeds your scorecard, unlocks incentives, and makes the next deal easier so the work compounds. The Microsoft Partner Program is designed for the systems player, not the deal chaser. High performers don't optimize for a single transaction. They optimize for the partner capability score. That's the shift separating gold partners from solutions partners, and it's the foundation of everything that follows. Here's a stat that makes the point. According to partner survey data, 94% of managed partners receive at least one source of Microsoft funding compared to just 64% of unmanaged partners. That's a 30-point gap. The difference isn't sales skill. It's that they know the system exists and how to use it. That's it. The funding is there, the programs are there. The difference is knowing which levers to pull. So what does that system actually look like? Let's start with the scorecard. The Partner Capability Score, your report card. Here's the thing about the new system. The Partner Capability Score replaced the old competency model. Remember silver and gold? That's gone. The PCS is a 100-point score across 3 categories: performance, skilling, and customer success. Performance measures net customer adds. Skilling is about the certifications your team holds. Customer success tracks usage growth and deployments. You need 70 points to earn a solutions partner designation. And you need at least 1 point in every subcategory. That last part is where most partners get tripped up. They focus on performance or customer success, hit 60 points, and wonder why they can't close the gap. The answer is almost always skilling. They have 0 points in intermediate or advanced certifications, so they can't cross the line. Most partners pour all their energy into one area and ignore the rest. That's how you stall at 50 points. Now, here's the fastest path to start moving the needle. Skilling. 2 people pass the MS 900 exam. That's the Microsoft 365 Fundamentals exam, the one for salespeople. Anybody in your organization who's been selling Microsoft 365 for more than 6 months can pass it. That's 5 points per person, so 10 points right there. Then 1 person passes the Teams meetings and meeting rooms technical assessment, an online quiz, 30 questions, take it as many times as you need. That's 15 points. So 2 people take the MS 900, 1 person takes the Teams assessment, and you're at 25 points with 0 sales. Starting October 2025, 25 points in a solution area qualifies you for cashback incentives, even without the full designation. So you don't need to hit 70 points to start getting paid. You need 25 points, and you can get there with 3 people and a few hours of study time. That's the entry ramp. You don't need to be a giant to start. You need to be intentional. CPOR, the hidden accelerator. Here's what most partners miss. The points on your scorecard don't count unless Microsoft knows you did the work. You can drive massive adoption at a customer, deploy every workload, grow their usage by 40%, and if you're not associated to that customer, none of it shows up on your PCS. And that's where CPOR comes in. CPOR stands for Claiming Partner of Record. It's how you tell Microsoft you're the one driving usage at a customer, and it's the single highest ROI action most partners skip. Here's why it matters. If you sell CSP licenses, Microsoft sees you as a transacting partner. You sold the licenses, you get credit for that. But if you also file a CPOR claim, you get double the points for customer success metrics. Double. The same work, same customer, same effort, and you get twice the points. All for a 20-minute claim. The process is straightforward. Go to Incentives in Partner Center. Click Customer Claims. Add Customer. Select Use or Consume as the partner role. Add the workloads you're working on. Upload a signed proof of execution. Submit. That's it. But there are 3 common mistakes that get claims rejected. First, the proof of execution needs to be electronically signed. A scanned PDF with a wet signature won't cut it. Use DocuSign, Adobe Sign, or the template Microsoft provides in Partner Center. Second, the POE needs to be less than 12 months old. If your statement of work is still active but was signed 14 months ago, you'll need fresh email confirmation from the customer. Third, list each workload separately in your POE. Don't just say, "We provide managed services." Say, "Exchange Online, we're migrating mailboxes, Defender for Office, We're configuring policies. Teams, we're deploying meeting rooms. The approval team needs to see exactly what you're doing for each workload. One thing that surprises a lot of partners, the customer gets an opt-out email after the claim is approved, not an opt-in before. Microsoft sends them a notice saying, this partner has been associated to your tenant. If the customer doesn't respond within 5 days, the association is locked. So you don't need the customer to approve it, they just need to not object. The best practice is simple. File CPOR for every customer you're doing services work for. Doesn't matter how they bought the licenses, CSP, enterprise agreement, or direct from Microsoft's website. If you're driving usage, file the claim. That's how the system knows you're the one doing the work. Once the points start flowing, you're ready for the next layer. Designations. Designations, from 70 to specialization. There are 6 solutions partner designations: data and AI, digital and app innovation, infrastructure, business applications, modern work, and security. And each one requires 70 or more PCS points. Here's the thing, you don't need to get all 6. Pick one aligned to your core business and go deep. For most partners, modern work is the most accessible because it has lower performance thresholds, more skilling paths, and workloads you're probably already working on: Exchange, Teams, SharePoint, Intune. If you're managing Microsoft 365 for customers, this is your natural starting point. Once you hold a designation, you're eligible for advanced specializations, and that's where the real differentiation happens. There are 32 advanced specializations across Azure, modern work, security, and business applications, each one validating deep technical expertise in a specific area: infra and database migration, threat protection, calling for Teams, SAP on Azure. These are the badges that make customers and Microsoft sellers pay attention. The path to a specialization depends on the solution area. For Azure Specializations, you go through an audit where a third-party auditor reviews your processes, customer deployments, and delivery methodology. For modern work and security, you submit 3 customer references that can speak to your expertise in that area. Every other year, you go through the same validation again. Here's what most partners don't realize. The audit is a checklist, not a mystery. Microsoft publishes the requirements and tells you exactly what evidence you need to provide. The partners who pass are the ones who prepare the evidence in advance, organize it clearly, and walk the auditor through it. It's not a test of whether you're good enough, it's a test of whether you can prove you're good enough. And here's why it's worth the effort. Advanced specializations unlock ECIF funding, end customer investment funds, which is Microsoft paying you to deploy, migrate, and drive adoption at customer sites. No specialization, no ECIF, full stop. The ROI math is straightforward. One ECIF-funded deal can return $50,000 to $100,000. There's no cost to earn a specialization, $0 in fees, no application fee, no enrollment fee. The only investment is preparation time, and the first ECIF deal you close pays for that preparation many times over. Co-sell and marketplace making Microsoft care. So you've got the designation and the specialization, but now you need Microsoft sellers to actually care about your solution. Co-sell is the mechanism where Microsoft's own sales teams actively promote your solution to their customers, and it doesn't happen by default. It happens when you make it easy for them. Microsoft sellers are coin-operated. They have quotas, scorecards, and limited time. If you want them to engage with your solution, you need to answer 3 questions. Does this deal help their quota? Is this a Microsoft priority right now? Can you open doors they can't open themselves? If you can't answer yes to at least 2 of those, the seller will move on to the next partner who can. The infrastructure for co-sell is the marketplace. Publish a transactable offer, like a SaaS product, a consulting service, or a managed solution, and Microsoft sellers can route deals through it. The marketplace is a system of record where deals get tracked, attribution gets measured, and incentives get triggered. If your solution isn't in the marketplace, it's invisible to the co-sell engine. There's a key change coming in 2026. The Qualified Referral Program, or QRP, is being retired. That was the old system where Microsoft would send you qualified leads, and it's gone. All referrals now go through Partner Center. Starting in FY27, the marketplace becomes the primary path for co-sell at scale. The old model of partner-reported revenue, PRACR, is being phased out. Microsoft wants to see transactions happening through the marketplace, not through spreadsheets and self-reported numbers. If you're an ISV, the target is Azure IP co-sell eligible status, the tier above co-sell ready where the real benefits live. The requirements are straightforward. You need $100,000 in trailing 12-month revenue from either Azure consumed revenue or marketplace billed sales, a transactable offer on the marketplace, passing Microsoft's technical validation that confirms your solution is built on Azure, and a reference architecture diagram showing how your solution integrates with Azure services. That's it. Meet those 4 requirements and you unlock IP co-sell eligible status, and that status unlocks something massive. MACC, the Azure Consumption Commitment. Enterprise customers sign contracts with Microsoft committing to spend a specific amount on Azure over a period of time. When your offer is MACC eligible, customers can apply purchases of your solution toward that commitment. 100% of the pre-tax purchase amount counts. So a customer with a $500,000 Azure commitment can buy your $50,000 solution and have it count toward that commitment. That removes procurement friction, makes your solution easier to buy, and puts you on the shortlist for every enterprise customer with a MACC agreement. For services partners, the same principle applies. Publish consulting offers in the marketplace. It doesn't have to be a software product. It can be a packaged service, a co-pilot readiness assessment, a security deployment, a migration workshop. Microsoft's engineering teams use the marketplace to find partners for specific workloads. If you're not listed, they can't find you. One rule to remember: co-sell is pull, not push. You don't get Microsoft sellers to promote your solution by asking them nicely. You get their attention by bringing a qualified deal to the table. You've already got the customer engaged, identified the opportunity, and done the discovery work. Now you bring the seller in and say, here's a deal that helps your quota, aligns with your priorities, and has a customer ready to move. That's how co-sell works. You pull the seller in with a real opportunity, not push your solution out and hope someone picks it up. The funding stack, ECIF, MACC, and the one-member opportunity. Most partners know CSP margins and back-end rebates. Sell a license, get a percentage back. That's table stakes. The funding stack sitting above those programs, ECIF, MACC, and co-sell incentives, is where the real money is. Start with ECIF and customer investment funds. Microsoft pays you directly to deploy, migrate, and drive adoption at customer sites. The funding runs from $10,000 for a proof of concept workshop up to $500,000 for a large-scale migration engagement. It's not a percentage of revenue, it's project funding. Microsoft writes you a check for doing the work. But there's a hard gate. You need an advanced specialization, no exceptions. Out of more than 400,000 partners, only a fraction hold one. That's the filter. No badge, no funding, and that's by design. ECF is Microsoft's way of investing in partners who've proven they deliver at a high level. The process is field-driven, not self-service. There's no public portal. Your partner development manager or field seller nominates the deal, submits the scope of work, the expected Azure consumption, and your advanced specialization credentials. Microsoft evaluates it against their strategic priorities for the fiscal year. If approved, you execute, submit proof of execution, and get paid. The timeline is roughly 30 days for review and about 45 days for payout after approval. Now let's talk about MACC. We touched on it in the co-sell section, but it needs its own treatment. The Azure consumption commitment is a contract where enterprise customers commit to spending a specific amount on Azure. When your offer is MACC eligible, customers can apply purchases toward that commitment, and 100% of the pre-tax amount counts. So a customer with a $1 million Azure commitment can buy your $100,000 solution and have it count toward that commitment. That's a massive enterprise sales lever. It removes procurement friction, shortens deal cycles, and makes your solution more attractive than a competitor's that isn't MACC eligible. Here's another piece. Once you reach 100,000 in marketplace build sales, you unlock $35,000 in Azure credits. Those credits help you close deals, offset customer costs, fund proof of concept work, or reduce migration risk. Microsoft gives you ammunition to win deals. Here's the stacking effect. CPOR feeds your PCS points. PCS points earn you designations. Designations unlock specializations. Specializations unlock ECIF. ECIF funded deployments generate Azure consumption. That consumption, properly attributed through PAL, grows your ACR. Growing ACR strengthens your scorecard, which strengthens your relationship with your PDM, which leads to more ECIF nominations. Each layer unlocks the next. The system compounds. Real talk. The first ECIF deal is the hardest. You don't have a track record, you don't have a relationship with the field seller, you're proving yourself from scratch. But after that first deal closes, the flywheel starts turning. You have a case study, a reference, ACR growth to point to. The second deal takes less time. The third takes even less time than that. The partners who break through that first barrier are the ones who build the engine. Everyone else stays stuck at the CSP margin level, wondering why they're not growing. Bottom line, the funding exists, the programs exist. The question is whether you'll navigate the system to access them or keep doing what you've always done and hope the results change. Data and attribution, making the system work for you. Here's the thing about the Microsoft partner system. It tracks everything through attribution. If you're not associated to a customer, your work doesn't count. You can drive a massive migration, deploy every workload, grow their Azure spend by 50%. And if Microsoft doesn't know you're the one doing it, your PCS doesn't move. The work happened, the credit didn't. There are 3 association methods: CSP if you sell the licenses, CPOR if you drive usage, and PAL, Partner Admin Link, for Azure deployments. PAL is the most underused of the 3. It's 1 click per consultant per customer tenant. You set it up through the Azure portal, link your partner ID to the customer's subscription, and from that point forward, every dollar of Azure consumption you drive counts toward your ACR. Without PAL, it doesn't. 1 click, and the consumption you're already generating starts showing up on your scorecard. Now, Partner Center gives you a raw data dump. Thousands of rows, hundreds of columns. Most partners never open it. They look at the dashboard, see a few charts, and move on. But the data tells you exactly where the gaps are. Customers with low security adoption, underused Teams licenses, Azure spent without Defender coverage. It's all there in the spreadsheet waiting for someone to look at it. High performers use this data to build campaigns. Here's an example. Pull all your customers who spend on Azure but spend less than 8% of that on security. That's Microsoft's benchmark. 8% of Azure spend should go to security workloads. Run a workshop with those customers. Show them what they're missing. Deploy Defender for cloud. File a CPOR claim for the security workloads. Now you've got a repeatable motion. Find the gap, run the workshop, deploy the solution, claim the credit. That's not a one-off project. That's a system. Tools like the Partner Command Center or Power BI reports make this actionable. The point is simple. Stop guessing. Start measuring. The data is already there. You just need to use it. The flywheel in action. Here's the thing most partners get wrong about the flywheel. You can have the same product in the same market as another firm. One stalls at gold, the other scales to solutions partner. And the difference isn't talent, it's understanding how the cycle actually works. First customer, you file CPOR, establish PAL, earn PCS points, hit 70 points, get your designation. Then you qualify for a specialization, pass the audit, unlock ECIF. That's the first cycle, and it's the hardest one. Second customer, same motion, but now you've got the badge. Microsoft sellers take your call. Co-sell deals start showing up on their own. You're not chasing them anymore. That shift changes everything. Third customer, you have case studies, ACR growth, and your PDM knows your name. ECIF nominations get approved faster. Each cycle makes the next one faster, and that's the whole point. So why do most partners never start? They think they need to be bigger. They don't. They need to be intentional. Pick one solution area, one specialization target, and one CPOR claim per week. That's enough to get the flywheel turning. You don't need to overhaul your business. Just pick one lever. File a CPOR claim for your biggest customer this week. That single action starts the clock on your PCS points. From there, the system takes over. Most partners won't do this. They'll keep chasing deals and wondering why they're stuck. Be the one who builds the engine instead. So here's your homework. Log into Partner Center. Go to Incentives, file one CPOR claim, then come back and tell me what changed. That's the first step, and it's the only one you need to take right now.